All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Movie Talks and Chill. We're your hosts. I'm Tony Serrano.
I'm Gavin Butts.
I'm Patrick Wall.
Potty mouth.
Potty mouth.
Language. I just watched Ultron.
Is anyone going to gloss over the fact Cap said language?
Sorry, it slipped out.
Well, now I forgot what we're talking about. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I see what he did
In
there.
the spirit of...
We're going to talk about movies about amnesia or where a character has amnesia or something along amnesia.
Yeah.
We
They
don't
lose
remember
their
exactly what
memory.
we're saying.
Or maybe they just got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah. Should have been Bob and Weave. Not amnesia, but
Yeah.
it's still good.
Hey, you lost part of your day.
Yeah.
Whether it was voluntary or not.
Yeah.
You lost part of your day.
Oh, man. So I had, when we were talking about coming up with another episode, this one's just so everybody knows, this was on a quick whim.
Yep.
We had to figure this one out, and then we were talking about what would we
I
do.
love how you're presenting like that's not exactly how
Yeah.
it always happens.
Not always.
That's
Most
true.
of the time, yes.
We did have a little preparation for James Earl Jones.
So Pat, we were talking about what episode are we going to do, and then I mentioned something about a particular episode. Patrick thought we'd already done it, and then I said, well, we could just call it
Part 2 with dementia.
And then I said, okay, well, instead of dementia, well, what about amnesia movies? And apparently there's a bunch of them out there, and I remembered a few of them. We started looking them up. We said, yay, we're ready to do this. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
What?
Amnesia movies.
Huh?
Yeah. Who am I?
That takes me back to the Tooth Fairy.
If this turns into an
Amnesia dust. That's how it works. That's how what works. Amnesia dust. That's how it works. That's how what works. It never gets old.
if this turns into a 1 hour long Who's on First
Yeah.
joke.
I've waited my whole life for this. I don't know. Third base.
So I'll just kick it off because I know I've talked about it many times before, but one of my favorites is Memento.
Yep.
Guy's got short-term memory loss. He's trying to figure out who killed his wife. He thinks someone killed his wife. So because he has short-term memory loss, he can, after about 15 minutes or so, 15 or 30 minutes, whatever it is, or if he talks too long, or if he didn't talk to anybody for longer than that, or if he talks too long about a subject within that time frame, he forgets what he's talking about and where it started. So he has to constantly write notes to himself. He's got his whole motel room that he's staying in, or hotel room where he's putting all these sticky notes and all these, takes photographs. If it's something important, he takes a Polaroid of it and then writes on there a specific message to himself about it, like, don't trust this person, or this person's friendly, or this is a clue, something along those lines. But if it's indefinitely important to solving what happened to his wife, he has it tattooed on his body.
Oh.
And so he's got tattoos all over his body, so he has to go through mirrors and stuff. And but he just starts out every day. And I said, what a freaky way to live life.
Yeah.
But it's a great movie. It does play backwards and forwards. It's half black and white, half color. I remember I told people the black and white is from the beginning to the middle. The color is from the end to the middle, and then it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Just chops. So
It was Christopher Nolan's first movie, wasn't it?
it might have been.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% on that, but yes, you might have been. And Joe Pantaleone's in it, and he plays one of his guys who's trying to help him. And there's a big twist to the whole movie as well, besides just all the amnesia.
It's actually Pantaleon.
Pantaleone. Hey,
Hey,
Pantaleone.
come on.
Hey, Joey. Joey Pantaleone.
Joey Bag of Donuts.
But
what are you doing over there?
There's a great line because his name is Teddy in the movie. Joe Pantaleone is Teddy in the movie, and he's like, and the guy with amnesia is his name's Lenny, and so every time you see him, he's like, Lenny, and he's like, I guess I told you about my condition. He's like, only every time I see you. It's like a running thing. They say it over and over again through the movie. So that is a very good movie, and it actually does have an insane twist at the end of it too. So I highly recommend it. Watch it, love it. Tell me you love it. If you hate it, call me. We'll have a debate about it, and I will prove you wrong.
He did 4 of the movies before he did Memento.
Okay.
Okay, and I
believe it was
wanted
Guy
to look up
Pearce.
who Joe was, and he's the captain from Bad Boys.
Yeah.
And I was like, that name sounds
Yeah, you
so
didn't know
familiar. I
The
do.
Fratelli brothers from Goonies.
Oh, shit, I forgot about that.
Yep. He's basically been in almost everything.
Yeah.
The Fratelli brothers.
Yeah.
I don't have a hairpiece.
All right, what about you, Mr. Gavin? What's your numero uno?
Usually I go with the light and the funny, but I'm gonna have to go with 23.
Okay.
number 23.
It's the number 23. It's Jim Carrey in one of his few like full on serious
Psychotic, yeah.
serious roles.
And also, like Robin Williams, he had a beard, so you knew it was a serious
yeah,
movie.
yeah, exactly. It's what you have to do is, you know,
If you're a comedian.
if you're a comedic actor and you grow a beard, that instantly means serious.
Yeah. Yes.
Unless you're Will Ferrell, then all bets are off.
Although he didn't have a beard in either Insomnia nor what's
Truman
that?
Show.
No, the other one. No, I'm talking about
that
Robin
wasn't
Williams.
Oh.
And what's the other one? The photo one.
The photo booth? He had a beard. in the
No,
photo
no,
booth.
no.
1 hour photo.
1 hour
Yeah, he
photo.
did
Oh, yeah,
not.
that one. Did he? Oh, I thought he did.
No, but he was balding and very, very creepy.
Yeah. Anyway, back to you.
Man,
Back
back,
to you,
to
Bob.
number 23. So in it, again, this came out 2007. I can't remember where it picks up at the beginning of how like Jim Carrey, like his character is like, but he's got a
numerology,
he's
isn't
got
it?
a wife and kid. Yeah, it's about numerology and about how everything, all these other things add up to the number 23. And he's reading this book that was essentially based off of this guy who was doing killings, and everything starts adding up in the book to his life. Like he starts matching it. It starts matching to this, the way that he, you know, parks his car, like every aspect of his life. It starts, you know, going into that. And as he keeps reading this memoir of, I don't remember if it's notes or if it's like just a full, like, I don't think it's a cover to cover book. And I think someone like maybe like sent it to him anonymously or so, or he found. I can't remember how it all went down, like how he got it, but he had repressed all of this memory so much that the life, whatever life it was that he picked up, he just lived that from then on. But at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, he does end up going like and turning himself in. And, you know, he's like, I don't know if I'm the same person anymore, but there's too much of a coincidence here. And he's like, I'm going to put this in the hands of other people because I can't make that informed decision. So he, like, turns himself in without everything that he knows, and he's, you know, giving himself over, and, like, that's where it ends. Like, you don't find out.
And then you fade to black.
Yeah, you don't really get, like,
Some
any real
American
resolution.
Psycho
Yes.
ending nonsense. I'm
that.
never watching this movie.
Like the end of Sopranos. Just
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
black.
Yeah, well, I mean, they fade out mid.
Yeah.
Oh.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, right.
Amnesia.
Amnesia dust. That's how it works.
Who's on first? All right.
You said you didn't want to hear that joke.
But it keeps coming up.
Sometimes who gets the check? Exactly.
Yeah.
Naturally.
What check?
Yeah, what check? Sometimes whose wife? That's what I'm asking. Whose wife picks up the check?
Where?
Whose wife's? Where? So
Where's
now
the
we're
wife?
getting there.
Who's
And
on
I
second?
don't give a darn. Oh, that's our shortstop.
Yeah. That's our waiter.
That's our waiter. Mr. Patrick, what about yourself?
So I'm going with a movie from 1994.
Oh!
Yeah. I was 9.
I
at the
don't
time.
know why I was so excited about that. But anyway, go ahead.
So I'm going with a movie called Clean Slate. It stars Dana Carvey, who's a comedic genius on Saturday Night Live. He's Garth from Wayne's World. And
Showing.
yeah, pretty much. But I think this is the only like non-SNL movie he's ever done because he was in a lot of TV and he did a few Saturday Night Live movies. But I think this is the only one. It's still a comedy, don't get me wrong, but it's 51st States. But instead of Drew Barrymore, Dana Carvey can't convert short-term into long-term memories, and he's a private detective. So he has a little tape recorder that he has to play every morning. He's like, you are this, you are doing this, we've met these people, here are the clues, here's everything, all that fun stuff. But it doesn't even start. It starts like with the investigation already underway. So it's not like they seek out a PI who has brain damage.
Right.
Like
It just ends up landing on his desk.
yeah, you open the door and like the clients are like, I've been looking all over you for the past 2 days. Where have you been? Have you found anything? He's like, you got to give me a couple of minutes. I don't know. But it's Dana Carvey being Dana Carvey in a murder mystery, basically, where he can't get long-term memory. It's genuinely very funny and good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. According to IMDb, you can buy it on Amazon.
You're like a promoter for Amazon now.
Yeah.
You can purchase it with a subscription to Sling.
Fun fact,
Yeah.
it didn't pull up Prime Video. It pulled up the Amazon Prime app. I could buy the Blu-ray of this movie. I can't rent it from them.
Yep. But you can still buy it through Amazon,
You can
your
buy it.
local dealer.
Only here. Look at.
And if you have Prime, you get free delivery on most purchases.
Thanks, Jeff.
Back to you, Bob. I do want to bring up one kind of connecting. So you said Jim Carrey in yours. So there was another one with Jim Carrey where it's on purpose that he gets amnesia, and that would be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. For those of you who don't know that movie, he basically... It really starts after the whole mind's been kind of gone a little bit. So he meets a girl, I think it was either in a store or on the bus, if I remember correctly.
Kate Winslet.
Yeah, but I can't remember.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
where
remember.
it kind of starts.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's basically about, they had this relationship. You find out later they had this relationship. They fell in love. Something happened with the relationship, and she basically wants to kind of forget him. And there's this company that can help you forget people or, pain or loss or whatever. And you hire them, and then they basically map out your brain and find out all the places where that person was either connected or any event that they would bring you back to, and then they erase
They
it.
delete it.
And they delete it. And you basically are in your mind as this stuff's happening. Well, he finds out about it. He doesn't want to remember her. But then he starts running into her in his mind and realizes he starts seeing all the great things, and he doesn't want to lose her. But the process already started.
Yeah.
So he's got to hide her and him in places that she would never have been, and he hides with her. So because if it didn't have her, wasn't connected to her in his original memory, that's how they can delete it. So he basically, in a weird psychedelic way, he finds like a thing where like it's his childhood home when he was a kid. So she would never have been there. So he brings her there to hide her there with him, and it gets into a whole crazy thing about it. And then basically, things get wiped, but in the end result of the movie, he ends up meeting her again. Or kind of they run into each other, and they start talking again. So it's really an ultimate story about if you're meant to be, it'll find a way, regardless of what you do.
Right.
You will reconnect if it's meant to happen that way. But very interesting movie. I liked it a lot. Patrick's disappearing for a moment,
And
so while he's
stage
disappearing,
left.
exit stage left. See.
Yeah. So I would say that there's one of the really good ones that we probably brought up. I don't know if we brought up this when we were talking about our hand-to-hand combat or combat fight movies. Was Jason Bourne?
Mm-hmm.
Like the.
I don't
I
think we
think
actually
each-
talked really about any Bourne movies.
I don't think so either. I don't think so
you're
either.
Safe.
But so like each of those movies, minus the Bourne Legacy that he's not even in, like he gains a piece of what his life was before back. Like he's already like the skill set of like the exits, the everything else, how he goes around and maneuvers, between people, all that stayed the same. Like none of that left. He just didn't have any of like the cognizant. He had all the muscle memory still, but like the pictures and what he did, how he got there, how he became that person. It just each movie he got more and more of that back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he kept killing more and more CIA agents.
Well, that's what you do.
Well, yeah, when you discover what fucked up they did to him, it's like there's a reason he forgot this. Like,
Yeah. Basically, all those movies where the agents forget or get brainwashed to forget, there's a reason
Yeah.
why they do that.
Programming is real.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Protect and serve.
So an old cute one when I was a wee kid,
Okay. Tony
1985.
got really excited when he remembered
Yeah.
this movie.
It's called Daryl. And
Data analyzing robot youth life form.
Data.
Data.
Yeah, you see, this is why you don't leave it up to him.
Data and data are the same goddamn thing.
Not when you say it differently. Data is what you input into information. Data was the character from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Hold an accent.
So anyway, back to me, Bob.
It's a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off.
So for the Data Analyzing Robot Youth Life Forms out there, it is an acronym, but it is about this kid. The movie starts out, this guy is just taking him out of this facility. He gets chased down and shot and killed. This kid ends up being
Chill
found.
opening.
Yeah, it's great. Family opening. He ends up being
Was
found.
this a Disney movie?
Yes, actually. I might have been, actually.
Just Walt Disney off camera smiling. Like, yes. Dead children. Good.
No, the kid isn't dead. He killed the guy that was
Oh.
getting, who's driving him out of this facility thing. And the kid gets found by these people and he gets put into a foster home. Well, there's a couple looking to have a child, so they basically, I think they're having trouble having kids, so they want to adopt, so they take in this kid. They meet him. They wanted like a baby, just to help nurture and grow. But this kid, he needed a home, so they took him in. It's Michael McKean, I believe. Yeah, McKean plays the father, or the foster parent father. It's then has basically him and the wife. They're helping him kind of adapt to life. He seems a little off. He's very proper, pristine, polite, like overly polite. He's not a normal kid. And then they have the friends in the neighborhood who have a son named Turtle, who they invite, and he basically is kind of helping him, become friends with him, try to become friends with him. Turtle is a regular kid, tries to get into trouble, swears every once in a while.
Oh,
Does what everyone-
fudge.
yeah.
Except I didn't say fudge.
Yeah. But they start realizing things throughout time about Daryl, besides that he's overly polite and, not like a normal kid. Like they have him playing a pole position, the old Atari game.
Oh, yeah.
And he starts playing, he's like, just gets a perfect score. He's like, just running through it. They don't know how he does it. He's able to
like
help
the
the
wizard.
family with stuff. Yeah, he's basically able to help the family out with stuff. The dad, he's trying to get money out of the machine or whatever, his ATM, and it's not working or something. So Daryl just like reprograms, gets him a bunch of money out. And he
Nothing like grand larceny
Yeah.
to really bring a family together.
I mean,
It's
is
Disney.
Is it stealing if it's already
Yeah.
stolen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get off your moral line.
And he didn't steal it. He just reprogrammed the ATM.
Exactly.
So it's not stealing.
He fixed the glitch.
Yeah. And the foster father's he's a coach for a little league team, so he gets Daryl to play, and anyway, whatever, he gets him graded. Well, they find out basically at the end of the day that people go to pick him up, who claim to be his actual parents. They find out later. They're like, "Can we see him?" They take him away. He doesn't want to leave because he's gotten used to actually having these feelings. Well, find out he's actually a robot. He was actually an experimental robot that was supposed to look like a child and basically be able to learn and comprehend and do things. And something happened with this system where he basically starts learning. It was kind of like the original AI, like before,
Yeah.
not in a bad Terminator way,
Right.
but where he can actually learn to be a kid, have feelings, stuff like this. And so they have
Not
to...
the computer in Odyssey.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Hal?
Yeah.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
No, he's not going to kill everybody. Or like the Terminator. Even though Terminator's cool.
I think they didn't make a sequel. You don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
The sequel was Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah, right.
And so yeah, so
Daryl
basically-
has changed his name to Skynet.
Yeah. Beep 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 beep. It's like the Bourne Identity version of.
Right, yeah,
Terminator.
yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, so they basically, find out that he's actually kind of learning, has feelings. So the doctor who's in charge of the program helps the foster family try to get him out. Obviously, he becomes part of like a military type thing. They want to keep him in. But the whole great thing about the movie is he ends up escaping by flying out in it was the old stealth, the stealth plane. It was like the
The
black,
SR-71?
the black one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the plane from Broken Arrow? Or
It might
the
have
plane from G.I. Joe?
No, it wasn't from G.I. Joe. It was-
Broken Arrow.
Gotcha.
And so he takes that out and he basically is able to fly out and ejects, and the family finds him later, and he's basically considered lost because that's what had to happen. There, people are chasing him down in the sky. They're going to blow him up to destroy him. He ejects out and they find him later. So he's basically dead to the government. So nobody's chasing him, and he goes off and lives a happy and ever after life with his family.
Aww.
Yeah. That's why they
Lame.
didn't make Daryl 2 because he can't really grow.
Yeah.
So it would be like,
Yeah.
But he turned into the liquid metal guy.
Yeah, yeah, that's what happened.
He upgraded.
That's what happened.
The T-1000.
What does robot puberty look like? Does it get another exhaust port? Like,
A couple more USB drives
Yeah.
appear on the back of the neck.
he now broadcasts in HDMI.
That would be the thing that takes Skynet down. All of a sudden, it's like you get an intrusion signal, and it's just like spelling Daryl out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
there we go. That would have been awesome.
No.
Yeah, good crossover. No.
In War Games 2, it's like, my name is Daryl. Would you like to play a game?
Please no, please no. Does not compute.
Would you like to play pole position? I'm very good.
Yes, he was very good. First try, high score.
Nice.
Did I break it? What happened?
Yeah. What's high score mean?
Is that bad?
So I just wanted to point out real fast that, we all have like lists of Amnesia movies because there are so many we cannot remember them all.
Ooh.
But
I see what you did there.
Finding Nemo is on this list. And
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's just adorable because it's just Dory who has the 3-second memory.
Well, and also Finding Dory.
Yeah, I've never seen Finding Dory.
What is wrong with you?
Because the fact that they made
Why do you hate
a
life?
feature-length
Yeah.
movie off of that one character annoys the piss out of me. I didn't like her that much in Finding Nemo. I did not want to see a full movie dedicated.
Hey, this guy hates children.
Yeah. Or maybe you did see it and then had your memory erased so you wouldn't feel the personal shame of saying you saw it.
I feel no shame for most of the movies I've seen. Most.
Most.
It wasn't that Meteor Man we were just
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about last
Meteor
episode?
Man.
Yeah, less I was just glad to be vindicated that movie existed. So, for the longest time, I couldn't find anyone else who had seen it, and I didn't see it on TV or a Blockbuster or anything. I was like, did I have like the flu and then a fever dream and just make this movie up?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I'm happy to say I've seen that movie.
You had an Inception moment.
Yeah.
It happened. It happened.
Speaking of, I mean that is a good movie that goes in and kind of like highlights how fragile like our minds are.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you go in and just
Well, when-
change one little
When four
thing.
people go into my mind with guns and start shooting shit, I think my mind's not going to be great when you exit out of there.
Patrick, no one is going to enter that.
Yes.
No one wants
Everyone here is now dumber.
Are you worried you know points?
to. May God have mercy on your souls.
But like the premise of it at the very end of like, all right, is
Leonardo DiCaprio.
is Leo like still in the dream? Is he still like out of the dream? Like, did he actually get to see his kids? Like, what's going on? Like,
What's with that top?
yeah, what's with that top? It twitches, but it never falls over.
Yep.
Because it cuts to black too quick.
Yep.
Just like the last episode of Sopranos.
So a good movie, and I've seen both of these movies.
Have you now?
I have.
Wow.
The first one freaks me the fuck out.
Wow.
But it's Total Recall. The first one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
When the head starts talking.
Yeah, when they all get sucked onto the planet Mars and their eyes are starting to bulge. Michael Ironside's head just pops like an overinflated balloon.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
How long? 2 weeks.
Two weeks.
2 weeks.
Two.
Get ready for a surprise.
That movie, the first one is amazing. I love the first one. I like there was an ancient Martian civilization. We could bring air and atmosphere back to Mars, and we don't have to be ruled under the thumb of this giant corporation. Yeah, free Mars. It sounds great. And then you find out Arnold Schwarzenegger used to work for all of them, and then they erased his mind to put him undercover. But now he's learning like who he was, and he's like, I don't want to be that guy, but I definitely don't want to be this pussy.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a pussy he was. He was railing out Sharon Stone for quite a while.
Yeah, that's true.
Wasn't the worst life. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I could go that deep undercover.
And they restore atmosphere to Mars. It becomes a free Mars and all that fun stuff. So yay, they win. But
Victory!
with their eyes bulging out of their heads like Raul Julia on a coke binge. The second one, the remake, the one with Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
That that movie exists. Let's go ahead and just throw that out there. Bryan Cranston is riding off the Emmy Award-winning 9 seasons of Breaking Bad, and he's like, "We're gonna put you in a movie. Great, Total Recall, even better. We've made it worse somehow." Like, okay.
Yeah, we've turned it to shit.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah. Where do I sign up?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't even take place on Mars this time around.
And then they're like, all right, how do we make this better? All right, let's hire 2 hot women, Kate Beckinsale and Jessica Biel. Done. Now we have a movie. What's our budget? $200 million.
Good.
$200.
How much did we gross? $1.
$1. Yeah.
$1. $1 million?
No,
$1.
one.
I could see someone being in like the producers meeting. It's like, we should really remake Total Recall, but we don't want to do it good. He's like, well, I've got $50 in 24 hours. I could put something together.
This is exactly what I signed
You're
up
in
for.
luck. The writer's strike is over. Here,
Yeah.
come on, guys. No, Total Recall is good. I did like the scene though when he's basically he's in that thing where they're trying to convince him that everything's been a dream, and he's like, "You got to take this," and and he's sitting there, and all of a sudden he just shoots the guy in the head because he realizes he looks at him sweating as he's talking to him about it. The original one, the good one,
Yeah.
I'm talking about. And you like the prostitute girl in the original one.
With the 3 boobs.
Yeah.
There's a Family Guy joke from like one of the first seasons, and Quagmire asked Peter, like, if you could sleep with anybody from any movie, who would it be? And he's like, oh, the chick from Total Recall with 3 boobs. And they're like, one of them's paper mache, right? He's like, oh, well, paper. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, since you mentioned that, I still don't care.
Yeah.
My answer has not changed.
Yes.
You've already sold me on it.
Well, to go from serious to funny, The Hangover.
Yep.
Yes.
The Hangover, man. Pure
Absolutely.
amnesia. Waking up. What the hell happened to us last night?
And then having to backtrack everything that went down.
Yep.
Wait, Alan, you roofied us? Oh, man, I've been switching the bags again. My bad, Alan. It's like I was supposed to get y'all some ecstasy.
He seemed like a real straight shooter.
Yeah, right. No, we don't want Black Doug. We want our friend Doug. What's the matter with Black Doug?
But just when they go back and, I mean, the ultimate best is when you see the pictures at the end during the credits.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, we all agreed. We look at these one time. And it just goes through everything that they've done, like him pulling his tooth out.
Ed Helms.
Ed Helms, yeah.
When they're talking with Mike Tyson, and they're like, how did y'all even get a cop car? Because he's going through the security footage. And they see that Doug's with him when he's there. He's like, how did y'all get a cop car? I said, oh, we stole it. And he's like, nice. And he's talking with Bradley Cooper. He's like, may I say, that is just a majestic animal. And he gets him the tiger in the back, and he's like humping him. He's like, I think you need to walk outside now, Alan. It's like, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Isn't the first one where Ken Jeong's locked in the trunk, and then when they open it, he just attacks like a spider monkey with a tire iron?
With a tire iron. He's like, oh, come on, fuckers. You fuck on me.
Yes, that is that one.
So he's like said since he's done that movie, he's like, it never fails in some city. Somebody will slowly be rolling down their window and then roll it back up as they see me and say, so long, gay boy.
I like when they're first, like after they get out of the hotel room. I mean, that great camera angle that they do with Ed Helms when he first gets up. It's got like the GoPro face at him almost. It's like, that's what you feel like.
Right,
Like, they almost embodied exactly what you feel like. But when they get through all that and they go downstairs to have like breakfast outside, and they're sitting there, and I can't remember what he mentions. He either mentioned some kind of food or like drink, or he's like, it was after we did the Jägermeister, and then Ed Helms is like,
acting like me in last week's episode when a piece of spit went down the wrong pipe.
You don't have a tooth, man.
Oh no!
But just them finding,
isn't
like,
he a dentist like his character?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a doctor. He's like, you're a dentist.
Well, they go to the wedding chapel where he got married to the stripper.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh, my number one customer. You guys got everything. You got the mugs. You got the calendar. It's like, she's wearing my grandmother's Holocaust ring.
Isn't it Heather Graham?
Yeah, Heather Graham.
You know
and
what?
they finally find out that's who baby it is that's in the
Carlos.
suite with him. Yeah.
Looks like a Carlos.
What was he, like John or something? I know, buddy. He looked like a Carlos to me too.
Yeah.
I think if I woke up from a night of drinking and I was accidentally married to Heather Graham, I would not be that upset.
Yeah. I mean, same here.
Yeah.
Tony would kick her out.
It would just be, well, it's the whole, you're married into a new family now. She has a baby. That's a big
Yeah,
responsibility.
that's true. That's true.
You're going to be watching that kid during the day or at night because she's going to be out dancing all night.
She a stripper or an escort?
She's a stripper,
Okay.
but basically an escort as well.
Twice.
Yeah, so, a little bit of both. Still fun to look at. Nothing wrong with that.
She's got to make that hustle.
Yeah.
And who's going to watch the baby? You are now.
I guess I am.
And
Yep.
when slower
But
nighttime-
no. She gave up stripping because she was married to a dentist now.
Yes, that's right.
Somebody made an honest woman out of her.
Then when he goes back to his girlfriend, who's supposed to be his wife eventually, and she's like,
Didn't she have sex with a waiter? First off, he was a bartender, okay?
and he didn't even come inside. her.
Yeah.
But that's
What
the
a
whole,
great defensive
Yeah,
statement.
right? Yeah,
it's
like-
like he didn't even do that. It's like it's okay, man.
He pulled out, okay?
Is it the same girl he marries in the second one, or is he married?
No, he marries an Asian girl in the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Much
in the
younger.
first one, because that girl, she's a bitch to him the whole
Yeah.
time, and then they finally get him to community, and he's sitting there, he's like, you know what, you're not a good person.
Yeah.
You're not a good person.
Well, when she's talking, he's telling her like, "Oh, we're gonna do like this nice little Airbnb. It's gonna be so awesome. We're gonna just be tasting wine." So that's. And she's like, "I am so proud of how like grown up you are compared to your friends." And like Bradley Cooper pulls up, "Paging Dr. Homo." Paging and she's just staring at us. He's like, "I think I better. Yeah, you should go."
And the fact that he's got all the kids' field trip money that he's taking.
Oh yeah, Bradley Cooper. Yeah, that's
Taking all their
right.
field trip money
That's
to
why
go
he's gonna
Vegas,
gamble
man.
with the kids' field trip money.
Well, I like when he's leaving the school. He's like, "Mr. Cooper, I have a question. Not anymore. I'm off the clock."
Yeah, and he
Who the fuck-"
pushes his head off.
Although having a guy like Bradley Cooper as a teacher would still be kind of cool.
I would think
I don't
so
think
too.
you would
I
have.
think I would have done better, or worse, if I had a teacher like Bradley Cooper.
You would have done better on the grade wise in school. You might not have learned as much.
Yeah.
So,
College would have been shit for you.
yeah.
That would have
Real
been a rough
life.
time.
Real life would have been even worse.
Yeah, right.
But you would have aced that class.
Yeah, would have had a great inspiration. He would have been my Edward James almost.
All right.
Nice.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
So Bradley, if you're ever looking to get into teaching,
you're
again,
looking- We have
We've
a spot for you.
yeah.
We know 3 dum-dums who could use some help.
Chase. We are the dum dums.
We're the 3 best podcasters that everyone could have. We're the 3 best podcasters that everyone could have.
I like when he's playing the "What do tigers dream of?" They take their little tiger nap. It was, and I can't remember what it was. He's like, Doug, 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 Doug. Oh, that's what he goes. And then we're gonna find a best friend, Doug. Then we're gonna give him a best friend, Doug. But it's like, if he's been swallowed by a tiger or something, well, then we're shit out of luck. But he got the good freaking that was a cool
melody.
melody to just go over that part of this.
And it's such a random thing to be like, you know what we need in this movie?
A piano solo.
Although we did have the other great one with Mike Tyson.
Oh yes, when he
he's
comes
listening
in,
to
Colin.
the Air of the Night,
Yep.
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins.
Oh, this is the best part. And he's like, burn it!
They're like, dude, he's out cold. And Bradley Cooper's like, he still got it.
Dude, you took a hit to the face from Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah, that's when they're figuring out. That's like, who, why is it I have to go in and give the tiger this? He said, why can't Alan do it? He said, Alan took one in the face from Mike Tyson. He's like, yeah, you're right.
That is very fair.
That's a fair analogy
if
there.
I take a hit in the face from Mike Tyson, you two are doing the rest.
Yeah, my heavy lifting is over.
Yeah. I think I've done all I need to do now. As I'm talking sideways and my face is swollen.
Yeah.
like Ted from.
A couple teeth are falling out.
Yeah, he just got one hanging. Is that what thief?
It's like the whole Buster fight. You spit out a tooth.
I'm sorry.
Everybody got ice cream?
We've got Jaeger beer and ice cream at the bar, buddy.
It's gonna be a good day. Where are we going?
Hey, I don't care how you sound. It'd be a great pickup line, man. I took a hit from Mike Tyson. That's why I look like this.
That's why I now talk like Mike Tyson.
That's why I look and sound like this.
That's why I talk like this right here. So it made me sound like him.
It's the Mike Tyson butterfly effect.
That's awesome.
All right, so
All right, I've got a different movie for us to
Okay,
talk
go ahead.
about. Although I think we could pretty much do an entire episode on just those 3 movies.
oh, we good.
But classic 80s movie, Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn. That's right, we're talking Overboard. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's very good. My mom loves this movie, and so she made me watch it a few times when I was a kid.
How do you not love this movie?
It's a great movie.
Exactly.
But if you haven't heard about it, Kurt Russell plays a
Spoiler
carpenter.
alert.
Yeah, from a movie that's almost as old as I am.
And also another one they made a reboot of,
I
which
heard.
is not good.
Yeah, I heard.
I
never
didn't
saw
watch it. I
Yeah,
didn't
me
watch
either.
it. I just knew it was going to not be good.
It wasn't good.
Not
That
good.
wasn't. Yeah. Well, you don't have.
Anna Faris, she's nice, but not in that one.
Yeah, she's no Goldie Hawn.
No.
So
Although they did mention the Goldie Hawn that they mentioned this in the movie. Like Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell weren't in it, but they mentioned their love story in the movie.
Oh, really? Nice little throwback.
Yeah.
Nice. But if you haven't seen it, Kurt Russell plays a carpenter for a very rich lady. Because she does act like a B word in the beginning of the movie.
Oh, a bitch.
Yeah, that one. But
We can say C word, but yeah, you can just call her a bitch.
I can say B word, not C word.
Exactly.
I'm going to be S than the B when I get home.
See you
Yep.
next Tuesday.
But Kurt Russell plays a carpenter. He's fixing up their mega yacht for the 80s. She's acting like a real bitch. And then, he's like, I'm an American. I've got 2 kids at home. Like, I'm hardworking. I don't live this fancy, rich-ass lifestyle. So why don't you get off your moral high horse and go fuck yourself kind of speech. She kind of effectively does. She falls off the boat going overboard and then gets amnesia. Kurt Russell rescues her and says, yeah, we've been married for like 10 years. These are your kids. This is the hellhole you live in. You love it here. And then...
You love this hellhole.
Yeah, you love this whole.
Because it is an absolute just shack of what Kurt Russell lives in that movie. And so he makes her do all the cleaning, all the cooking, all the yard work and everything. He's like, this is him showing her, this is how real people...
Well, he's
Trying to
getting
teach her a lesson.
the equivalent of
Yeah,
what she owes him.
that's right. That's what he's
Because-
trying to do because it was tools and the time and labor.
And the
that he put
material,
in.
because she
Yeah.
didn't like the wood. He said that she agreed upon the material, the type of wood they used. I can't remember. I think it was
Like
cedar.
cedar or something. Yeah.
And she's
like,
didn't
no,
it.
I want mahogany.
Yeah, she's like, you're gonna redo the whole thing, and I'm not paying you any more money. And then so that's why he basically tells his buddy that the lodging looking guy, the lumberjack looking dude, basically he's like, how long are you gonna keep her? He's like, yeah, just long enough, to get basically what
she owes me. Yeah.
yeah, basically that's what he's trying to plan out for her. So
Gotcha. But they do wind up falling in love and all that fun stuff. She learns the truth. He goes still after her, like, oh, I'm actually like you in all your rich ways. And you'd think at the end of the movie, Kurt Russell, I was just really hoping Kurt Russell would just go be a fabulously rich person by falling in love with Goldie Hawn. But she actually doesn't she leave that life to go
Well, so
live
what
with him?
happened
No,
is
the money was all hers.
Yeah.
The husband who she was married to was basically living off of her.
Yeah.
and he was cheating on
And
her.
he was cheating on her. Yeah.
And it was her
it was
mother.
the mother's money. Yeah.
So when she leaves to that, it's basically the mother doesn't agree with it, but that's why. So that's what she finds out, is that they didn't come looking for her. So when she goes back, she's like, because when she was looking, the reason why she fell overboard, she had her earring fell off, and she was trying to reach for it,
I think it was her diamond ring.
or diamond ring,
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah,
it was.
yeah. But it
and
was
she was
ring,
trying
yeah.
to reach for it, and she fell overboard, but they never bothered to look for her. And then the boyfriend guy, who was the fiance, was cheating on her. And then she found out about it when she got back, and he's like, "Oh, we missed so much," and then blah blah blah. And then she found out that they never looked for her, and her butler was the guy that ends up
Spilling the beans.
yeah,
and
helping
everything.
her out and everything. And so when they go looking for her, but you're missing a big part of the sweet part of the story is he had told her once they started getting along real well when she's still in Amnesia about this great love story about people separating, finding each other. It was, I believe, it was Arturo and Catalina. And so that's why.
Goddamn Catalina wine mixer.
Well, when they're chasing after her, they get the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
To go after her, and they're honking. They can't tell what it is, and he screams out, Catalina, and then she's like, when she screams out like Arturo, that's their way of saying yes. Hey, we still want to be together. And then she jumps out. She falls. She jumps out and starts swimming. She's like, "Woman overboard!" And it's like, "Man overboard!"
No, so he jumps out first.
Oh yeah, he starts swimming to her.
And the butler's like, "Madam, shouldn't you at least play a little hard to get?"
And then, he's putting
he's trying to get her, getting her life vest on.
But I like the one guy in the Coast Guard. He's like, "Man overboard," and he's like, "Woman overboard," and then he's like, "It's been a hell of a day, sir."
Yeah, it's a hell of a day at sea, sir.
But his ultimate dream goal was with his friend to open up that mini golf course at the place, and I believe they ended up doing it.
I think that was like the ending shot or something.
Yeah, she helped him do like the designs for it, and so then she got he went to the investors meeting and they gave him the money.
Yeah. No, it's a good movie though.
No, very good movie. I clearly need to rewatch it.
And the kids become very respectful.
Yeah, like halfway through it,
gremlins in the beginning of the movie.
Halfway through it, he actually comes to her and tries to tell her that she's not his wife, that because she finds her panties that have her initials on it, and they're not in the name that she. Yeah, in the glove box. That was the only thing he picked up when they found her. She had underwear on. And so like she thought he was cheating on him. He's like, actually, let me tell you, you're not their mother. And he's like, you're not. And they're like, Dad, what are you talking about? That's our mom. And they turn on him, and they're like, we're not letting you mess this up. and then his friend, he's like,
confesses that it was that he was cheating on his wife or whatever.
What did he say? Something is like they call me Crazy Annie or something like that. It's like, I'm a sex fiend, Annie. And he's like, what are you doing? You need her.
Because everyone's basically turning on it.
Exactly. Yeah, they're like trying to keep them together.
I'm just telling her the truth, man.
Yeah, it's like I'm telling her the truth. Those are not your panties. Oh, yes, they are.
They're mine now.
Andy, I'm a sex fiend. Andy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm a sex fiend. Gertie knows. That's his wife. I know what. Just shut up and go along with it.
Well, there's a movie I've talked about on this podcast a couple times. I genuinely enjoy this movie, but from what I understand, it was Ben Affleck's didn't give it his all for this movie. We're talking about Paycheck.
Do we have to?
It's about amnesia.
I mean, sure.
There's a reason why I tried to forget that movie existed.
But you need the machines they have in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, so real quick, if you haven't seen it, he's an engineer and he's hired by these companies to reverse engineer a product for another company. But because of the sensitive nature of what he's doing, they erase his mind after every contract. So in the first scene, you could see he's leaving, they erase his mind, and they're watching all the video that they had to delete, and one of the VPs, like, he wasn't going to remember this, so they basically just have very rough sex in, like, the lab. And, like, even the director's like, Jesus, Annie. He's like, what? He's not going to remember.
Another Annie.
Yeah. Dang it, Annie.
I'm a sex fiend, Annie.
Apparently she is.
Yeah.
And then Aaron Eckhart gives him a 1-year deal for, like, $10 million or something like that. He's like, yes, I will do this. Where do I sign? And then you see him at the end of that 1-year deal. He gave up the $10 million for a bag of useless items. And then the whole movie is figuring out why he would give up $10 million for sunglasses and a pack of cigarettes and everything. And then you find out what he built for Aaron Eckhart, plus he fell in love with Uma Thurman, and plus he really didn't give... Spoilers for a movie that came out in 2006, he really didn't give away $10 million because he built a time machine to where he could see the future, so he bought himself a lotto ticket. He is still insanely rich. So I like the movie. Apparently, it's not well received by most, but
that is true.
I like it.
It just really wasn't. Even Kevin Smith said the same thing. He's like, when they were drilling, we asked Kevin Smith in one of his Q&As, he does like a segment where people just run through movies and he gives his opinion on it real quick, like this and that. And he's like, well, this and that. He's like, Paycheck. He's like, well, that it's an aptly named movie for Ben Affleck. That's all he did it for.
I like it.
I know.
Well, so moving into the sci-fi era, we have the movie Pandora,
Yeah.
which is basically waking up from hypersleep. What was supposed to happen was this colony ship was supposed to go to another planet and then have basically restart and start a life to continue the human race. Well, what they find out mid-journey, as they go, they have rotations that the crew is supposed to be on, because I don't remember how long of a journey it was supposed to be, but anyway, like a third of the way through the journey, the last transmission they get from planet Earth is, "You're all that's left. Good luck." And then they go back to the map and just Earth is not there anymore. So this one pilot ends up deciding he wants to play God, wakes people up, kills them, does, all sorts of crazy shit. And then he gets tired and he goes back to sleep. 900 years later, they finally land on this planet, and this other crew member wakes up in the middle of all the other chaos going on, and he has no idea of what he can do or what his purpose is, minus the tattoos that are on his arm, and just trying to figure out why the ship is not working the way it's
A little
supposed
derivative, I would say.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Memento in space.
Yeah, exactly. But so he eventually does remember, and Dennis Quaid, who's you think is the captain for his watch, which is actually the kid who started playing God to begin with after he killed the rest of the crew.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, Damien.
Crazy.
Well, I have a movie that I want to talk about, but first, I know there's probably people, if they're watching it on YouTube or they're listening on Spotify, they are just yelling at whatever device they are listening because we haven't mentioned one specific movie. It's probably the movie it was the first one that popped into my head. I know it'll be the first movie that popped into everybody else's head. 50 First Dates.
Indeed.
Yes. It's a classic.
I mean, we've covered it with Adam Sandler and,
a bunch of other times. But
yeah.
This is the iconic, when you think of like, oh, this is a movie,
Right.
one of those Amnesia movies. You're like, oh, like 50 First Dates. That's usually where everybody's mind goes.
Hi, I'm Tom.
I know.
You just said that, Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom. Jesus, Mr. Cheesel. I just wanted him to say Mr. Cheesel at some point. Like,
Right,
hi,
yeah.
I'm Mr. Cheesel. Like, what? But obviously, like I said, if you've seen it, you were yelling at us or trying to through your phone or computer. And if you have it, go. It is classic Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore movie. It's really, really good. I'm not going to disrespect your time or ours by recapping it because you've seen it. And if you haven't, what the hell are you doing? Go.
If you haven't, stop listening to us right
The
now.
basic
Watch
gist of the movie is in the title.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the name of the movie.
Not a whole lot of depth to Adam Sandler movies, and this one is a little bit more deeper than most. But you don't need like a flashlight and a shovel.
It's kind of like Dennis Lear, the comedian, once said in a stand-up thing. He's like talking about like coffee and donuts and how there's no real coffee and donut place anymore. He's like Dunkin' Donuts, the last donut place. Like you walk in there and now there's like soup flying around. People are eating finger sandwiches. Like when I was a kid, he had two things: donuts and coffee. You took the donut, you dunk it into coffee. That's the title of the place.
I like how you started off saying you got a conut. Like I want a conut. I want a coffee-filled donut. That's what I want.
They have those.
Do they really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, coffee flavored
Yeah.
donuts, but they also have a cronut.
Twice.
They have all kinds of nuts there. All kinds.
And then when we
Laser
go in,
blazes and all kinds
and
of
when we go
hazes.
in, there would be 3 more.
Well, in this one also I won't recap because we've talked about it a million times and also about the thing, but I did bring it up offline was X-Men, the
Yep.
first X-Men, because
Yeah, Wolverine
does have
Origins.
amnesia there.
Yep.
Amnesia.
Well, sticking with the sci-fi train that I was going through, we have Men in Black,
Nice.
the
Yep.
neuralizer.
Yeah,
But
they're
really
good.
it was the big point of it was in the second movie because
Yeah.
that was the whole
Because they-
thing was getting Kay.
back,
Yeah.
getting Tommy Lee Jones' memory back,
Deal.
which was a little bit of a weird pacing movie. Like there are times in that movie he's like, "Oh, it worked. He clearly remembers everything," and then the next scene he was like, "I don't know what the fuck we're doing here." I was like, "You just knew like 2 seconds ago."
I just like in the mailroom when he starts.
No smoking.
Will Smith starts beatboxing with the other guy. He's like,
Yeah.
He's like, there's a reason why you were drawn here. Most people that work in the post office are aliens.
Yeah, it gets in the sorting machine.
What are you doing?
One dude.
I drive. No. I used to drive the old busted.
No,
I drive the new hotness. Old and busted.
New hot.
Hotness.
To be fair, the old busted was a Ford LTD in mint condition. That car kicked ass.
Yeah.
Not saying it didn't, but he liked new hot.
So his car pulls up and he's like, he hits the button and it like sucks in the dummy that's in there.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, does that come standard? He said, actually, it came with a black guy, but he kept getting pulled over.
I like when they pull out the flying machine and it turns into a PlayStation controller.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's like, all right, what is a Game Boy?
He's like, I need a steering wheel. We don't have that. We got a navigational star. He said, didn't your parents give you a Game Boy? What is a Game Boy? You know what? Move.
It came with a black guy. Getting pulled over.
He hits he's like, oh, okay, here we go, autopilot. And the guy comes up. He is not autopiloting. It don't work in this. It don't work in hyperdrive. We got the navigational star.
Not bad problems to have.
No.
I'd love to have a car like that.
Damn right.
Right?
I'd like to have a whole life like that. I do, real quick, though, want to bring up one. So,
We've got a few minutes.
Yeah.
more of a serious one. It was one of the first ones I thought of. Didn't bring it up yet. Was regarding Henry.
Yes.
Yes, you were telling me about it.
yeah,
I've
it
never
was-
heard about that movie.
Yeah, and I was trying to remember. I knew most because it's been a long time since I'd seen it. But basically, Harrison Ford, he's this like rough and tumble, ruthless lawyer. I guess he's that way with his family, with his daughter and his wife and stuff. If I remember correctly, I think he had some indiscretions on the side of his wife. But anyway, he gets shot or something happens to him. He ends up with amnesia. Goes back home. They're taking care of him. He's almost like a child at first. He's got to relearn all the basic things like speaking and eating and body movements, stuff like that. And becomes like a very nice person, but he also starts remembering or learning about who he actually was. And so throughout the movie, then it's like it creates with the family, it creates this dichotomy with them where they're like, this is a new person who's very nice and they really love him. And, obviously the wife loved him at one point, did marry him, but they're afraid of what they know he's really like. So it's like, do you help him get fully recovered? Do you keep him this way? I mean, is it kind of stealing from them, from their actual life if you don't let them go back to their normal way? But he also has that battle too within where he's like, oh, I like being like this, and it becomes a very sweet movie in the very end, but there's a lot of things going on in it. But as far as, Harrison Ford, as we all know, is a phenomenal actor. Goes without saying. But to see him play in this type role where he's like very weakened at this point, like almost like a childlike,
right?
Just trying to, even the daughter's like helping him, like
trying to feed him
and stuff like that. So it's very good. I will say overall, go ahead and see it. Check it out. It was from the 80s.
I didn't even know this, but J.J. Abrams is the delivery boy in that.
Oh,
in
really?
That movie, yeah. That's what he's accredited as. Is just titled as delivery boy.
I would like to do a deep dive episode one time and find out like the reverse path of J.J. Abrams, because he seems like pop up in all these random places.
Right.
You didn't think that he existed in, and it's like,
Oh, yeah.
And then one day he was like,
wildly okay with this, because if we're going to do if we're going backwards, that means we get to start with his movies or like Star Trek or Fringe, and I'll talk all day about those movies.
Was this one like he's like one day he just woke up, he was like, I want to make movies with lens flares.
yeah, basically.
He was probably just trying on glasses at lens clapters, and a light just hit. It was like, oh my god, that looked really cool.
That's the greatest shot I've ever seen.
For like 2 seconds.
So we should
Now I'm still blind.
we should do a reverse engineer J.J. Abrams episode.
Okay, I like it.
This is going to take some work.
You got
Got a week.
Got a couple weeks actually.
All right.
Got a couple weeks. Or
Well-
a week. No, you got a week actually. Technically, yes.
Yeah.
You're right. You do.
Yeah.
It's all this time travel we've been doing.
Yeah. But we are running out of time, and
Yep.
there is one that we haven't talked about, and it's a very bad movie.
Well, there's quite a few we haven't talked about,
Yes.
but go ahead.
There's a very well-known but very bad movie about amnesia, Hancock.
Yes.
That I was so excited for that. I thought that movie was going to be awesome. It was terrible.
I didn't mind it because I like Jason Bateman in it too.
Jason
Yeah.
Bateman's really good. Charlize Theron's really good in it.
Oh, she's good in everything.
Will Smith was doing the best he could with the material given. It was just very bad material.
I like what
Good
he
job.
said.
Good job.
Yeah, good job.
How much do we pay for you? $50 million? Perfect. Oh God.
I like when he goes in. You remember? It's like so and so the whale. It's like. He pulls up a YouTube video and he grabs a whale and he just throws it like to get it back in the water and ends up hitting a sailboat.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even remember that. Greenpeace does. Or like that was another one. Like he gets a bunch of in front of a bunch of kids at a popsicle stand or ice cream truck, and he like starts eating all the ice cream. His clothes are in shreds. He's half naked. He's like, I had just got out of an apartment fire. You know how hot it is in an apartment fire when your clothes are burning.
I'm gonna guess pretty hot.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I'm willing to bet that Jason Bateman in this movie is the inspiration for Jerry in Rick and Morty, because they almost the exact same kind of timid, out of work advertising person who has married wildly out of his league, and he doesn't really have like a backbone or a spine or anything. Like he lets his wife do it, and he lets Hancock do it. So give me a call, people who, what the fuck is your name? You Dan Harmon. Give me a call and let me know if Jason Bateman and Hancock was the inspiration for Jerry and Rick and Morty.
Yeah, you heard him.
Yeah. Give me a call.
We should have a burner phone and just
Just start ringing it. What? What do you mean unavailable?
Be like, you do remember this is pre-recorded, so there's no way anybody could have seen this yet.
99999.
The call is coming from the future.
Yes, we'll just have a pre-recorded and it'll just say a message.
Yeah.
Hello, Patrick. I really enjoyed your episode. The way that you're looking dumbfounded now. What?
It's like that time Tony did it 10 seconds ago.
Son of a...
What? Call's coming from inside my mind.
Well, that happens all the time. I don't need anybody to tell me that one.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, man. But we are about out of time. But also, as usual, like we said, there are some ones we've missed. Probably missed quite a few. If you know them,
The list I had
send
was
us the
filled
email.
with movies I've never even heard of.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
We probably had amnesia about the amnesia.
Yep.
movie.
But if you
I
do
was in
know
a
of them-
fugue state for the past hour.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But as always, send us an email. Talk to us, movietalksatchill.com, and you can tell us all the things that we've missed, and maybe even throw in a compliment of how much you like us to.
And we'd love to have a one-sided debate where you
Yeah.
can't say your side.
But thank you so much again joining us in talking.
Shit, what was it?
For until
Hot
next,
dog.
Hot
Hot dogs.
dog. Yes.
Hot dog movies.
whatever it is, until next
Welcome
week
to
for Movie
Coney
Talks
Island.
and Chill. We are your hosts. I am Tony Serrato.
I am Gavin Butts.
Now I really want a Coney Island hot dog.
All right, guys, take care.
Patrick Wall.